Resident Evil Requiem, the latest entry in the Resident Evil series. A game so intense that you might want to go cry to your mother about it. It's that scary. Today, I'm going to be attempting a challenge. One never done before by any Resident Evil fan. Can you beat Resident Evil Requiem by playing the game? So as we begin, you see, I choose the hardest difficulty, and we start our journey into Resident Evil Requiem. The game begins showing off our new protag, Grace Ashcroft. How she's related to Leon, Jill, or Ada, I don't know. This man, who I can only assume is the brother of Marvin. That's too much knowledge for LARP. Hold on. This guy at the FBI really wants us to go investigate a place where our mother was murdered at, and why shouldn't we? And so that's what we do. Not a Leon in sight, not an Ada in sight, and not a Claire in sight. We journey on. This officer tries to stop me, but he forgets that he is a peon in my presence. I start to make my way through the alleyway so I can get to the entrance, and oh my god! Jesus, nobody told me these games are scary. I make my way inside the building and find a random key attached to a post, and somebody closed the door. I had to do something. My first instinct was to scramble for my gun. If I had my gun, nothing could hurt me. After all, if I used my gun, I pointed wisely, remember all of my training, and everything past this point would be complete and utter light work. We get a flashback section that introduces who can only be Blonde Jill. And then promptly, Blonde Jill is murdered. How could they do this to Jill? We've been waiting to see her since RE3 Remake. And then basically a lot of light work, blah blah, boring happens as we go on and on. It's him. My glorious TikTok edit king. Leon, he's finally here. The game finally started. Getting into Leon's gameplay section, I had to make sure that I was extra careful with my ammo and resources. I wouldn't find much, so I had to make sure that I used everything to its maximum potential. Excuse me, ma'am, you can't be doing that to people in public. Oh my gosh, did he consent to that? Oh my god. Oh, these residents are evil. It's a good thing I have this Requiem. I basically then light work all over these zombies in such a manner that you would think I might be Leon Kennedy myself. We then cut back to Blonde Jill's daughter, now escaping from some type of contraption she was strung up to in her sleep. She notices this isn't her bed. She has to get home. She's on a case after all. She fumbles around in the dark for a minute, finds a lighter. Okay, cool. Now we have some light. Oh my god, what is that? Is that some type of monster? Nobody told me there were monsters in this game. I light work as fast as I can, making sure to grab the screwdriver on the way so I can get the fuse and exit where I need to. Things, however, don't go to plan. Suddenly I was grabbed. I didn't know what to do. She was holding on to me like her life depended on it.
Oh, I'm hurt! My back!
She got me good there. I didn't know what to do. There was no hope. As I was being dragged away, I could do nothing but wait for a hero. A hero like Leon. As if he heard my calls himself, he arrived just in time to save me. He popped shots into this monstrous thing behind me and took it down in one fell swoop. Bang. He then said something along the lines of, well, that was light work. We gotta get out of here. There's a lab we gotta raid. And that we did. About 7 hours of light work later, we had finally arrived. We had gotten there and Leon was a bit sleepy, so he took a nap. That was okay. We had made it on our journey. There was a random guy in a suit and leather gloves. I don't know why he was there. But anyways, we chose to release El Piss because I've heard that holding it can cause damage to your bladder. Then some random old guy showed up. He wasn't a fan of this guy's suit, so he cut his head off. Reasonable reaction. I made sure to use every light work tactic that I could to breeze past this boss in a very light work fashion. Through very legitimate means, it was time to say adios to our amigo. Of all the residents, this was the most evil Leon had faced. He started to walk him down, and in his final moments, he delivered a great line. Pop goes the weasel. Aura. I can't wait to watch more TikTok edits of this guy. Once again, due to Leon Kennedy, the country was safe again. Who I can only assume is Blonde Ada shows up on the screen for a moment. And then, Leon comforts Blonde Jill's daughter. And he says, maybe the real Resident Evil Requiem is the friends we made along the way. And that, my friends, is how I, youngster with 2 R's, beat Resident Evil 9 in 6 minutes and 2 seconds. Just remember, you can do anything you put your mind to. Especially if you're incredibly honest about it and always provide proof. Make sure to follow me on Instagram.